think of Jesus, think of the sun, the flaming sun. That's where they stole this concept from. Stop believing and read your Bible logically. The New Testament is really old astrology. Jesus is the Son of God, no lie. But they might be talking about the sun up in the sky. The sun that hangs on the cross of the zodiac. The zodiac with 12 signs to be exact. Each sign is a house.
To utilize Prince of Laws 120 because we knew that he was talking about the Father, he was talking about Allah.
Right.
So to us, we was like, okay, we'll make sure we have those lessons. So that's why everybody in Love and Law have Prince of Law lessons.
Okay.
The first set of 120 that came to Love and Law that I brought in 90 that I got from El Naheem, that's the more traditional 120 that most 5%ers have, I guess, throughout maybe the country.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They have that traditional one. There's a slight few differences. One difference was that the first 120 we had, the knowledge wisdom degree, said, why doesn't the devil teach that? And the correct way is why, the original lessons we had says, why does the devil teach that? And we ended up learning that the knowledge wisdom degree says, why doesn't he teach that? Because the devil don't teach knowledge and wisdom. Those were one of the points that we had in our lessons. And the wording in the build degree of the 140 was slightly different. A few other points in 120 that they had that was a slight difference. Traditionally here in Love and Law, we deal with the Prince of Law lessons. And we got that because during my period of time when I started going to a law school in Mecca, it was after the first fire. And it wasn't really a lot of things there. You know, it wasn't even no bathroom. It was just a room, front room where they sold the newspapers and stuff like that. And the other room was kind of, junk room, but it had a chalkboard on it because that's where El Naheem used to take me through degrees on there. But when I first started going to a law school in Mecca, there was only 3 people that used to be there. That was Najee, Bilal, my black seed. He was there selling newspapers during the time that he did in the summertime when he was going to NYU, and El Naheem used to be there. Those are the first people I used to experience and see all the time. It's funny because the first time I went to a law school in Mecca, somebody else that used to be there was Short Sincere. And I recall going to a law school in Mecca my very first time as a teenager. Because what brought me to New York was that I had a record deal when I got out of high school, and the record label was in New York. So I used to travel to New York all the time in the music business and always would go to a law school in Mecca. So the first time I go up there, graduating out of high school, I'm in the record industry. I think I'm fly. I got 2 earrings this year, 1 earring this year. I'm up there with my pops, and Lil Sincere's up there selling. I don't know what he was selling at the time, but he was up there. And I recall one of the twins was there on I See a Ball Divine. And one of them, I can't recall which one it was. But Sincere just wrote in on me about wearing earrings and how he wasn't that. And I was just like, that was my first experience at law school. Dude bombing me in front of my pops and my little sister and shit. Both my little sisters. Dug in my ass, man. But for the most part, though, when I used to go to school, those were the only few people that was there. El Naheem was the person that really took me in and made me know how to make this walk and talk and what was really relevant. He showed me the traditions, gave me the history, gave me my first set of 120. The first set of 120 he gave me, man, I came back to Love and Law, and everybody wanted the degrees. Like, I went and found out basically what was the regimen by knowing the degrees, what it was, right? Because prior to that, we didn't really have a clue. We had Lord Jamel that was here during the time, but he wasn't consistently around to the extent for me to learn everything. I'm sure he wouldn't qualify to do it, but, I met Lord Jamel. We used to battle rap over at the Crenshaw Swap Meet. And over where Earl's Hot Dogs, the place where we get the hot dogs at, it used to just be a cart. We used to have battles over there. He was over there by Crenshaw Swap Meet, which is across the street from where Magic Johnson Theaters was and stuff. We used to go over there and get our battles over and shit, man. So one time I'm up there, me, King Born, and I want to say maybe Akbar, which was a brother that was being taught by King Born. I think that was him, but we was up there battling, getting it in. And I was up there, and I'm rhyming, so like a typical 5%, I got the 5% of stuff all in my rhymes and stuff like that. And Lord Jamel heard that shit. It was like, peace, God. You know what I'm saying? He just came in. You know how Lord Jamel is super animated and he building and stuff. And we was dumbfounded because we had never met no 5%er, and he was a grown-ass man. We all kids, so he was a grown-ass man 5%er. So he used to always keep us captivated, man, with them 5% stories and his experiences and stuff like that, man. But like I said, he wasn't consistently around. He was up there selling oils and incense and shit like that, giving us jewels, man, and stuff like that. The person who always stayed in contact with him and had the longest relationship with him was Just Life, which is one of the other firstborn of Love of Law. Just and Lord Jamel's relationship was like this, man. But you know, he would always come around periodically and stuff. Man, we go to Just was the first person to have his own crib, and he had a lot of events. You know, he's Belizean. He comes from the Belizean community, so they have a lot of social gatherings and partying. His sisters and moms make rice and peas and shit like that, man. All the guards would come over there, man, and build and shit like that when Lord Jamel was in town. But based off of me getting my record deal going in New York, I was like, going to law school, like, on me going to get it in. You know, so I went up there, man, and El Nahim, like I said, really took me in, man. He gave me the right set of degrees. He gave me a lot of history, and I learned a lot of history during that time, man. Being building with him, man. Ali was another one of my brothers that used to be around, and he used to really take me in and stuff like that. Now, my relationship, funny, the difference between my relationship with El Nahim and then Najee and those other older brothers, Bilal was like my peer. You know, he was like 3-4 years older than me. You know, we was young men together and shit, man, both into hip hop and doing our thing. So I used to spend a lot of time with him. At the time, he was going to school at NYU. So while I was in New York, I would come up to the dorms and everything like that. And he introduced me to Beloved. Beloved was the person who wrote the bomb, which is most time when you're 5%, they give you the history of the law. Beloved wrote that, and that's my man's my brother, man, and it was above to meet him because he was the first like corporate guard to me, like he's an engineer, like, and I hate to call it corporate, but you know, traditional regular guy, like, you know what I'm saying? I got a degree, homie. I work. You know, a lot of other guys I met was, you know, hustlers and various things, man. So it was through Bilal, man, that I began to meet a lot of professional 5%ers. You know, through Bilal, I met a lawyer that was a 5%er. You know what I'm saying? Like. That was my experience messing with Bilal, man, really getting and finding out, because beforehand, everybody seemed to be, you know, regular people, which is something that I appreciate about the knowledge. You know, it's a street knowledge, and I know most of the people that I was influenced by initially were street people. But to be able to meet professional people at that level, people was in college and doing that was great for me to be able to see at that time, man. So we knew that we were the Lord of all worlds, man. So Beloved was that first person that I met, one of the first people that I met like that, man, that really took me and tried to teach me a lot of things, man, and explain. He's the one that made me feel good, because when I started going to a law school in Mecca and meeting various different people, I realized that a lot of the things that I was doing were incorrect. You know, especially stuff like, you know, even little things like teaching people that was older than me and stuff like that. And Beloved was one of the first people to tell me, like, yo, don't feel bad about you trying to teach that if he was successful in it, whatever. He was like, man, keep in mind, we all out here, we in New York, you know, the knowledge founded over here, man. He's like, over there, you do what you got to do in order to build.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was the first person to tell me something to let me know that, okay, I'm not that a lost teaching's been at all, but in certain worlds that I'm going to have to do certain things that's going to be unique to this cipher in order for it to grow.
Peace.
You know, so that's what I learned from him, that he told me. But through my relationship with Beloved is the one that took me to go see Allah B, which at the time was the firstborn of Allah. You know, and that's another thing with my name. When I initially got knowledge, my name was Lord Mustafa. I actually had a long name. That was a Love of Law thing. Everybody had long ass names. My name was initially was Lord Mustafa. Then I started adding on to it crazy. Like, let me tell you, when I say long ass names, I'm talking like long 8-word names and shit like that. Like some real Robert Walker shit, because you know that's where that comes from. That Robert Walker shit. That's where everybody get them long ass names and them crazy. If they make the sun come out and shine, them traditions come from Robert Walker. It's amazing how so many bullshit things end up sneaking into Allah's house. But that's neither here nor there. But everybody had the long name. Initially, my name was Lord Mustafa Hassan Mahdi. Like, even on my high school diploma says Mustafa Hassan Mahdi. You know, that was initially my name. And then at one time I was using Lord Mustafa Hassan Mahdi, Asiatic God Allah.
Wow.
And then even one time I went through a spell, and it's so funny because my oldest baby's mom's, this is what I was calling myself when I started dealing with her, which was Quintera, at the time. And I used to go by Lord K.O., Asiatic Allah. I used K on for a little short period of time, you know what I'm saying? Just out of the clear blue, because, you know, cats was coming with these unique names, and I just wanted to put a light on mine, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's funny, and I didn't change my name again to anything associated close to born, which was prior to my daughter being born, is when I officially changed my name. I know his name, nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, so these people online is not authority. The key thing about this knowledge, man, that you cannot get it from no book, you can't get it from online, you gotta go get it from another man in his mouth to your ear, period. There's no other way to get this knowledge. Get it the right way. And for people who are striving to do that, they just need a reference point. They just need a reference point, and if we can supply that, we will get rid of a lot of that hearsay stuff as far as what we are and what we are. If we're able to do that, man. Brother, these elders definitely, and I know a lot of it is, it's amazing because I always tell people, man, and I always speak like an old man, like, yeah, I went from analog to digital, but think about these old brothers, man, who come from the 60s, and you talk about communicating online with somebody they don't know, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's a resentment. Well, my attitude is this. All we doing is teaching the truth. What are we?
Who cares about the media?
Yeah, like, so a lot of people heard you talking the truth. Like, what does that hurt? You know what I'm saying? But I understand where they come from as far as the generational thing. Like, oh, you don't know who you are online and all that, and you know, and I can understand the taboo that exists. You know what I'm saying? But my attitude is like, come on, the law seen and heard everywhere. If all we doing is teaching the truth, why not can't I quote you and say X, Y, and Z as an authority? You know, we have to get over that resentment. Like, these are all tools, man. Tools. Stuff that we can use, man. And why not utilize it to our benefit? Because right now, we got a lot of people utilizing it and making us look bad by using the same tool that you're resenting to utilize. You know, so as a nation, we need to begin to communicate, we need to build at a broader scale. And prominent people need to build at a more prominent scale. Respected people in the nation need to be able given a platform to build and be heard at a broader scale. That's all I'm saying. I understand that this is a street knowledge as far as we've grown to this multitude from teaching in the streets. That's why it's good. So, you know, even if we don't, school may come up and close here, that's not keeping the knowledge from growing. That's how intricate Allah's teachings is that, okay, I don't need a facility to be contained in. You know what I'm saying? We've known to prosper in the illest of conditions, especially in illest of urban conditions. So we're gonna be here, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going nowhere, but for those who are listening abroad, so that we have a better representation of who we are, with no cut, no chasing, those elders need to communicate, or at least communicate with others so that we can maintain just a central location that say, okay, hey, this is an authoritative what we deal with. Just on the other note, man, I would love to see Universal Shamgard's family put some type of trademark on the universal flag, not to be able to maximize and try to profit off of it, just so we could say who can stamp them, because, you know, people put on there and claim like that, you know what I'm saying? But if that's ours, let's make it ours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can verify its origins, where it comes from. Why not? To keep other people who we don't agree with from using it. Peace to the 5%.